What is up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and I realized another thing I should have done a video on, so now I'm doing it. Because everyone uses Zana, and she's super useful early on in the game. Um, but if you don't know how to select your missions, you can wind up hurting yourself. So how do we select a good Zana mission? We're going to use this Zana as an example. So you need to pay attention to things, and it's not just the map mods. For starters, yeah, we want to pay attention to the map mods. Like this one. We have, um, alright, well, I'm going to have to read them to you because that one gets a little cut off. So we have monsters have 373% increased critical strike chance, 43 to global multiple critical strike multiplier for monsters. They also have increased movement speed, attack speed, cast speed. Unique boss has 35% increased life. Unique boss has increased area of effect and increased accuracy, and your chance to dodge is unlucky. So this sounds like a pretty nasty map. The other thing that I have to pay attention to is what does it say in the bottom, just below the activate. This tells you what the mission actually is. So certain missions or modifiers that you should definitely pay attention to are a couple things. First of all, you cannot die or leave the map. If it has this, does this necessarily mean that we don't want to do the map? No, because some of the maps are going to be like, that'll be really easy for me, and I need that map, or I want to do that map, or I like that map. But you have to know, I can't die, and you got to consider that I can't die, or I'm going to lose the map. But what can we do when we know we can't go into the map and leave it? We're probably going to want to drop a portal in this map, go back and empty our inventory, because like in this case, I don't even have enough space to pick up um, one armor item. So if, I would like to still get my socket orbs, my jeweler's orbs. Um, so I'm probably going to be like, I should probably go back if I'm playing a cannot die or leave the map, because what if a bunch of good loot drops? Then I'm in a situation where it's like, do I throw away some oils? Do I throw away some currency? Which you don't want to do that. I can quickly teleport back and save myself that hassle. Another one that's really annoying is complete the labyrinth trial. Yeah, this can be good and it can be bad. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, in order to unlock your merciless laboratory, you have to find the trials inside of maps randomly. So using Zana to do that can be really useful. So that, if I still need labyrinth trials, is a super good mod. The flip side of that, if you already have all of those trials completed, you're like, I don't want to do a labyrinth trial when I don't have to, because that takes a bunch of time. I'm not gaining experience, I'm not getting loot. There's no reason for me to do that. So I'm going to be like, I don't really want to do that, Zana. I'm going to pass on this one. Um, so here's the cannot die or leave. The other thing is corrupted. Can we play corrupted maps blindly and go do them? Yes, certain builds can, but some builds can't. For instance, if you are an elemental based character or a physical based character and that map winds up being physical reflect or elemental reflect, you're not going to be able to do the map unless you have 100% reduced reflect damage taken, which most players aren't going to. And, I'm not even going to get it because, it's not worthwhile for me to have that solely to do a random Zana map, because I can do the corrupted maps and just throw on elemental reflect into the sextants if I'm playing that character. I've covered this. So this is probably not something I want to do because I'm an elemental character and I don't have 100% reduced reflect, so I don't want to jump into a map that I'm going to possibly instantly die, lose experience if I have experience. If it's a really good map, like say it's a guardian map, and I'm like, those cost 50k. I probably want to go get my fragments. These are pretty valuable. What are these at now? Um, I don't even know where fragments are listed. I can't find it. But they're probably pretty. Well, we'll just do a POE search. PoE trade search. We'll just look up one of them. We'll look up the fragment of the Phoenix. Yeah. Sometimes this site can be slow. Alright, let's see. Oh, those are really cheap now. They're only two. Oh. Oh, they're half an exalted orb. So let's see what they are in. Oh, that's just searching for them with no specified. The cheapest is half an exalted orb. So that's pretty valuable. So if I don't have a lot of XP and it's a corrupted guardian map, then I might want to go do that. You know, that's pretty tempting as a bonus to doing the map, even if I don't want to do Uber Elder or Shaper or Guardian, depending on the fragments. Um, so that, gives me a little bit of incentive if that case pops up, which in general, for myself, anytime a Guardian map comes up, I'm going to do it because I want the fragments. Um, but that being said, if you're like, I'm about to level, I've got, 15% left to a level, and I know not good at the Guardian fights. I'm going to die a bunch. I might not even complete it, and I'm going to possibly wind up losing 50-60% of a level. That's a decision you have to make, is trying to get that 60 chaos fragment when you might fail and losing that 60% experience, or possibly losing that 60% experience worthwhile for you. Those are the kind of decisions you have to make. Um, so that's something to think about. There are ones that are actually really good. So some people don't like breaches. I like them. We don't get Chaiula that often, but we all know the Chaiula or you should know Chaiula fragments are pretty valuable. So like 1.5 chaos, and yeah, pretty consistently 1.5 chaos looks like the market value, and these actually sell really well. Um, Pretty much every season when I try to sell fragments, I actually do not turn them into breach stones because for some reason I have harder trouble getting the same value I could have sold just the splinters for that I could have. So like upgrading them into an actual fragment. In the past, I've had trouble getting the value that I could have just sold the splinters for. So I don't sell them in small amounts, but if I have like a bunch of them, I'll go ahead and sell them. Um, the spoiler alert, Chilua breach stones are not worth the currency. There's some videos out there from when they first came out. They were super OP, but they've been nerfed really heavily. Like things like the temple map at the higher level is like way cheaper. You could get what 150, so over an exalt for Chilo's breach stone. You can get these for 30 chaos, and there's a 150% increased monster experience. So I just sell them. I tried them last season. I tried to, because I did the level 100 race and the XP was pretty bad comparative to just running tier 16 maxed maps with all modifiers, all sextants. I was like, all right, the time I spent trying to find a group for this, I could have made the same amount of experience just running high tier maps with full mods. But bonuses like this can make the map more valuable. Breaches is a good one. It's not the best. Harbingers are pretty good. If you get one with Harbingers, that's kind of like a money drop map. You can get fragments of your um, exalted orbs. You can get fragments of the Harbinger orbs and Omen orbs. Um, a lot of those aren't really that expensive this season. The ancient orb is still expensive. Those are pretty much always, like 40 to 55 chaos. I'm surprised they're not a little bit higher this season. Um, Maybe a lot of people have learned their lesson and aren't investing all their currency in the false hope that, everyone's going to get a headhunter for, you know, 10 or 20 or 100 ancient orbs. But there's normally a lot of videos that look, I got a headhunter and I only used a couple of these. Everyone should go out and buy them. I sell those. And when there's Harbingers on Zana, there isn't this season, so there's not as many ancient orbs in the market. But that is how you can get some fragments for that. And you can also farm, the Harbinger maps, but if you're buying those are, cutting severely into your profits. But when they're on a Zana map and you want a little bit extra currency added to your map, that is a good currency modifier from Zana. So, what is it we need to do? We need to pick we need to pay attention to the mods on the actual map and make sure that there's not something on there that's going to royally screw us. We need to be able to identify what type of mission it is that we want, whether there's something valuable or there's something in it that sucks that we don't want to do. In general, the most dangerous things outside of the map mods are going to be possibly like rogues, like if and they're not dangerous if it's an easy tier map for you, like easy mods and you're used to doing that tier of a map. But the thing is, she does give you maps that are one level. She offers you maps that are one level higher than the map that you're in. Unless you're in tier 16, then all she can offer you is tier 16. Um, but you have to pay attention to that. Like if you're like I'm in this tier whatever map, like let's say 10, you're in a tier 10 map and she's offering you tier 11 maps, and it's got, some hard modifiers on it, and it's got like rogues in it. Well, rogues can be dangerous if you're barely able if you're struggling a little bit with the tier 10 and there's rogues in there, they can jump on you. And if you're, kind of weak for the tier 10 and you're jumping up to a tier 11, they can be a little bit dangerous. Um, Other than that, and same thing, breaches can be dangerous too. I think it's one of the reasons why people don't like the breaches is because they can spawn some pretty nasty monsters in them. So although they can be really beneficial because it's a lot of extra monsters to kill, they can also be dangerous. They spawn some bosses in there that can be pretty nasty, and if you don't know how to deal with them, if you're already weak for that, or weak, or right at the level of being able to do those maps, those breach encounters can be a little bit dangerous. So that's something to pay attention to also. But I think that's pretty much it. um, I completely will just skip a labyrinth trial if it's a really good map. The thing is you can skip her quests and you can still do the map. The whole reason for completing her quest is then you get a reward. If you haven't leveled her up all the way, you're leveling her up. Um, but then you get influence. Influence is basically, if you don't know yet, it's like a currency that you can then spend on cosmetic items to like decorate your hideouts. Which, I like to get all of the influence I can because I like to pimp out my hideouts. And if I'm already in the map and I can do it anyways, why not? Um, that's fun for me. I like to save it up and then create crazy hideouts, man. Anyways, hope this helps you. Thanks for watching. Peace.